Hello and welcome again. We're back today. We're going to do some goat talk. For those of you who are new, my name's Joy Culpepper and I'm a part of Culpepper Livestock along with my husband Dusty and our 4 kids. So if you follow our Culpepper Livestock Facebook page or Instagram page, you would have seen that yesterday I reposted an article that was published by the Goat Rancher magazine on the topic of Monesine. Some of you may have heard it called Ruminicin. I believe Ruminicin is a trademark name of Monesine. It's the same thing. It's just one is a trademark name, one is like the actual product name. But I've seen a lot of talk about it on Facebook. I've had quite a few people reach out to me, so I thought I would take advantage and help educate everybody on the dangers of it and what we here at Culpepper Livestock have personally experienced using this product. So around 2017, 2018, we started buying a higher end feed that, we thought we were doing great, buying the more expensive feed for our kids' show animals. Of course, they looked amazing. They were gaining weight. We were doing well in the show ring. But that wasn't the issue. The issue happened is when they're ready to go out into the pasture for breeding. The issues we had, I'm going to start off on bucks. We had one buck in particular, amazing buck, but if I'd have say 3 or 4 does come in at one time, he might settle one of them. And then it'd have to be a few days again. And if you had goats and stuff before, they kind of seem to cycle in little groups. Well, out of every little group, he would only settle 1, maybe 2. And so our kidding season was taking forever. And I felt like we were never going to be done with kidding. So that was the issue we had on the bucks. Now on the does, it felt like it was never ending. Now, as a little bit of a backstory, all of our show does, when we are done showing and they are ready to go into our breeding program, we put them on pasture. And they're out there for 3 to 6 months minimum to shed some of the weight we put on for them to be, what we call show ring ready. And so being overweight is not an issue at this point. Now, our non-show herd was just on a local non-medicated feed, and we weren't having any issues with them. It was only the animals that were coming out of our show pens that were on this high-end, expensive show feed that had Monesine in it. These does were either not breeding, they were taking forever to breed. We have one that took almost 3 or 4 years before she finally bred. And the only reason we hung on to her is she was a weatherbred doe that did really well for my daughter, placed in San Antonio, homegrown, and I couldn't bring myself to just take her to the auction barn. But she finally kidded this last year, after 3.5, 4 years. But anyway, the ones that would breed, even though we've trimmed them up, we're having pregnancy toxemia issues. There are lots of swelling. We ended up with a C-section, kids just not positioning right. The does just are kind of like frumpy. You can tell they don't feel great once they get into late gestation. And then when they would kid out, I'm talking their bags are a teeny tiny little handful, zero. Some of them had 0 milk production. I'm having to use my dairy goats to supplement, and we're bottle feeding babies because these mamas just aren't producing milk. And finally, the cost of the feed just skyrocketed, and we're like, all right, with 3 kids now showing, we've got to change some things up. So we ended up going back to a local mill and started having a custom feed made, and they use I'm not even sure if I'm saying this right, dicrocanate in it. So started feeding that and our issues kind of disappeared. Well, then I started seeing talk on Facebook, TikTok, different places on very well-known breeders with amazing livestock. They were having the same issues that we were, and some of them did some research and kind of brought to my attention that it could be Monesine causing these issues. So I did the research myself, and sure enough, guys, if you look at the label, it says not to feed to reproducing or lactating goats. Hello, that was our issue. Once we got away from that, I haven't had any toxemia cases. Our milk production is where it should be, if not even higher. Bucks, 0 issues with bucks settling does. I can put a buck out in the pasture and I can guarantee you I might have 10 to 20 kids born in a day. So no issues with them anymore. Now, like I said before, this is our personal experience. In the research we've done, this is what we've all tied it down to, is it's got to be the Monesine that was in the feed that we used to be feeding, because we don't have the issues now. Like I said, no toxemia, no kidding issues. We haven't had a single C-section since we got off of it. Milk production is up. Bucks are doing great. And, I said, look at your labels. And what this medicine that is added to the feed, if you really look into it, is designed for, like, say, a show wether. Even though it doesn't say that on the label, it says for animals being raised in confinement, which would be your show wethers. Obviously, they can't reproduce. And once a goat hits about a year old, they should have a good enough immune system that they do not need a medicated feed anymore. So all our stuff in the pasture, they're on non-medicated feed. The only thing that's on it is our show goats who are in a confined pen. And like I said, they're not on Monesine or ruminicin anymore. They are on dicoconate. That's what we have added into our feed. And I mean, as soon as they come out of the show pen, we trim them up a little bit for a couple of months and they're breeding on the first try. So the only common denominator we can go back to, and all of our issues point back to, is the ruminicin or Monesine. So I'm hoping this helps you. I'm going to show you the article here at the end. It's going to be 3 pages long. So if you do want to take a second and pause and screenshot these so you can read it yourself, you can do that. I'm also going to put some screenshots up of different labels that I have found. You can go Google this yourself. One of them, I believe, is from vetlabel.com, and the other one is from drugs.com, talking about what we said, how it says not to feed to lactating or reproducing goats. And like I said, I hope this helps you. We're all about helping educate. If we can prevent you out there from having the issues that we had to go through, that's a win for us. But I also want to hear, like, your personal experiences, the good, the bad, the ugly. If you've had positive or negative experiences feeding these products, I want to hear about it. Like, this is what we experienced, and I'm hoping to help educate you guys. And if you have any experience, like, send me your feedback. Like, drop a comment, send us a direct message. Like I said, I'm all about educating, and I never say that I'm fully educated because I learn something new every day. So I hope this helps you. I'm going to post the article, and then I'm going to post the feed labels that I found just Googling myself and in my research. Again, you guys have any questions, comment, reach out to us. You guys have a blessed day.